Hi, this is Lawrence Fleckenbill. You are listening to TV Confidential.
Ain't you gonna open them?
Gideon versus Cochran. A motion for leave to proceed in forma pauperis and the petition for writ of certiorari are granted.
Ed Robertson with a reminder that the next edition of TV Confidential will air next week on this station at the usual time. Please join us along with Phil Grice as we play rarely heard audio highlights from vintage Thanksgiving programs from the 1960s. In the meantime, on the line with us right now is Les Lannom. Les Lannom, the actor known around the world as Lester Hodges on Harry O, and a man who has worked with such movie and TV legends as Gene Hackman, Lee Marvin, Peter Falk, Joe Don Baker, Pat Hingle, Sissy Spacek, Henry Fonda, James Garner, and of course, David Jansen. Les wrote the foreword to the Harry O Companion by Steve Aldos and Gary Gillis, which you can find at McFarlandPub.com as well as Amazon.com. You can follow Les Lannom on Facebook. I want to ask you about any memories you have about working with Peter Falk, Henry Fonda, and James Garner.
I worked out at a gym called Vince's Gym in North Hollywood, and there was a girl who came in there. Her name was, what the hell? Oh, God. I can't think of her name. But anyway, there was Peter Falk's wife, and I worked on an episode of...
Oh, Shara Denise.
Shara Denise, yeah. I said, dumbest thing to say to a guy, I know your wife. Jesus. And he says, oh, you know Shara Denise? I said, yeah. I said, I worked out at Vince's Gym. He said, oh, yeah. Oh, well. Peter Falk, you know, he was great voice, and a great delivery, and that character was that he did was wonderful. But I was in the dressing room with Peter. He was in the makeup chair, and I was going to sit in the makeup chair. And another guy came in and said, "Oh, we got another lesson here," and it was Leslie Nielsen, who I think was wonderful.
Yes.
I think that Leslie Nielsen was just absolutely wonderful with that deadpan insanity from The Naked Gun,
and Police Squad and Airplane. Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't really have a lot to do with Peter. I mean, I liked his work very much, and his show was one of my favorites on, detective shows. Wait, I just happened to think of something. My wife was just saying to me just before I left for work, and then go off on some tangent, dovetail it around to what he really wanted to know. Falk was wonderful at it. The character was terrific, and I've been very fortunate. I worked with him, with Peter Falk. I worked with Jim Garner, and
in Space. Space, the miniseries.
Yeah, Space, the miniseries, and I played something. His last name was Pinzos, and he was a seaman. And he was a corpsman, medic. And we hauled this guy in, and Dick Anthony Williams was his name, and he was supposedly attacked by a shark and lost his leg, and I put a tourniquet on his leg and shoot him full of morphine. And Jim Garner said, "Best you get good tourniquet." That's almost the equivalent of what David said to me once. I did the scene, and he said, "Lester, that was really very adequate." And he got up and walked away. Very adequate. Thank you so much, Mr. Jansen, sir.
Yeah.
Son of a gun. But I could tell he went off. He had a way he would kind of roll his shoulders a little bit and twitch his head sideways and then grin as he was walking away. And I could see the muscles in his cheek from behind as he turned. he just nailed me and just enjoyed the hell out of it.
Any memories of working with Henry Fonda and Gideon's Trumpet?
Yeah, I was shackled to him. My entrance in Gideon's Trumpet was that I was more or less shackled to him, and we had all of my scene work was with Hank Fonda, as they called him. But we were sitting at the lunch table once, and I used to work out pretty hard. I worked out, and I was fairly good size, and some of the guys in the Slammer, there we were at Chino, and they were hey, look at that guy, he spent some time in the joint, because almost all of the ones who had spent some time in the joint, the only thing to do was lift weights.
Lift weights, yeah.
Maybe. But we're sitting at lunch, and there were a couple of young ladies sitting on either side of Henry Fonda, and he said, "Where's you were?" He said, I lost it. I lost.
That was pretty close. That was like the essence of it.
He said, "You were always built up like this, right? You're strong and muscular." And I said, No, not really. I said, it started when I was about 16. I said, if I hadn't, I would have been a skinny kid. He said, "Oh, God damn, I hate your guts." Well, he said, I came out here in, I don't know, 1932 or 34. So he said, weighed about 130 pounds, soaking wet. He said, 6'4", skinny as a rail. He said, me and Jimmy Stewart. And he said, my God, he said, I tried it. I ate bananas. I did this. I did. I'm starting to sound a little bit more like
it's coming back to you. It's coming back to you.
But he said, God, and now you tell me you weren't on. He says, God damn it, I hate your guts. Oh, gee. Funny guy. Just a nice man, you know. And Tim Scott and I were riding up in an elevator, and we said something about the working that. He said, God, he said, you guys didn't say anything to me. He said, I thought, they don't like me. They don't like me at all. They won't say it. They are not even going to talk to me. We said, what, man? That wasn't that. He said, I'm glad to hear that. But he was just a sweetheart to work with. And boy, you talk about a presence.
Mm-hmm.
He did a scene where one of the prisoners, I've forgotten the guy's name, but he does something, and Henry picks up a pipe, and he says, and he drives it back. He was gonna, like he was gonna really do something to this guy. He's gonna work him over good. He wasn't gonna back down. And anyway, the guy does kind of back away. But anyway, yeah, he was wonderful to work with. He really was a nice man. And I guess I was out there at Chino altogether about, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, something like that.
Well, we can easily fill up another hour and a half just trying to pull stories from you. I will let you go. I want you back. Because you're fun to talk to. You're a great storyteller, and you have a project coming up later. Hopefully that will find a home soon.
Yeah. I've been growing a mustache, a handlebar mustache. Only thing I think wore a handlebar mustache in was a Campbell soup commercial, and it was soup with sea salt.
Uh-huh.
And I played a lighthouse keeper, and one of my friends, a guy named Steve Gagney, a very nice actor, a very nice guy, I was brought in on the callback. And what I had noticed was, now there was a period of time when big mustaches were really in fashion.
Yeah.
And you see these guys with these Fu Manchus, and Tom Selleck could hardly get arrested till he grew the mustache.
Yes.
And oh boy, it just, you think of Selleck, you think of the mustache.
That's right.
You know, it's like Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
And that's another sweetheart of a guy that I worked with, and on the Yellow Rose.
Mm-hmm.
But Sam, you think of Sam, and you think of that big bush.
Yeah.
Bushy.
Well,
mustache.
I've seen pictures. I've seen pictures of you with your handlebar mustache, Les, and you recently talked to my friend Michael Seltzer. Yeah. So you wear it well.
Well, thank you.
Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Ruta Lee, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
One of you be the boss?
You looking at him?
My name is Coker. Buford Coker. They call me Buford.
Yeah, Mr. Coker, where'd you get the saddle?
Took it off from a blue-coat officer.
That revolver, that's a Lamat. Where'd you get the Lamat?
Took it off from a gray-coat officer.
Where are you from?
South Kalinki.
You sure you want to go north?
Well, yes, I've been moving for some time now.
Well, we might find a place for you.
Mexican over at the wagon shop said there was one.
Well, I said we might find a place for you. Depends on whether my top hand here thinks you fit.
I'll fit.
And, Mr. Person, you think you can work with this young gentleman?
This trail could be as dangerous as that war you was in, soldier.
You ever run from anything, Mr. Preston?
Nothing worth remembering.
Well, neither have I.
I think he might be a good one, Mr. Potee.
You think you can work with Mr. Person?
Well, I work with Colonel Beggarstaff. Figure if you can work with a son of a... Well, a hardtail like that, man, I ought to be able to work with a gentleman like Mr. Person here.
All right, Coker. This gentleman will cut you out a horse.
When I did Centennial, I was supposed to be 19 or 20 in the first episode, an ex-rebel soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the second episode to that one was called The Longhorns, and it was about cattle drives, the early cattle drives, Loving Goodnight Trail, then these guys followed it up to Colorado. Well, the second one was called The Shepherds, and it had to do with the range wars between the cattlemen and the people who herded sheep. And it was supposed to be 9 years later, so I can't grow sideburns. Not to say I couldn't grow sideburns if you held a gun to my head.
You don't have that gene.
I don't have that gene. And my beard is not real thick, and it's soft, and my hair is baby fine, and it's not nearly as thick as it used to be. But my mustache, I tried to grow one, well, the thing that prompted me to try to grow the handlebar mustache was they laid a mustache on me. They laid the sideburns on, the big mutton chop sideburns, and they laid a mustache on me. And it looked great, and I loved it. And I said, I got to grow. Well, it didn't work. And then I finally, I had a mustache for Southern Comfort, but it was not a big mustache. And it worked for the character.
Yeah.
I did. I was originally seen for the part that Fred Ward did in that character named Lonnie Reese, and he was a psycho hard case, and they gave me, and he was supposed to have a mustache. Well, I don't know. Fred had a lot of American Indian in his lineage, and he couldn't grow a mustache very well, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I had a mustache, so they gave me a character who had more or less the baby face like I had, and like that. Anyway, I'm growing this thing for John A. Logan was a general here in Southern Illinois in the Civil War. He had been a barrister, and there was a friend of Stephen O. Douglas and a friend of Abraham Lincoln. And his father-in-law, or future father-in-law, was another character early on in this thing with the Lincoln-Douglas debates that took place through Illinois when Lincoln was running for House Representative or something. But I asked the producer and writer of the script. He knew of me from Southern Illinois because his mother was from Southern Illinois. He had spent a lot of time here during summer vacations and whatnot, and knew the story of General John A. Logan. And Logan was a member of first he'd gotten into the state House of Representatives, I think, and then he went to Washington, D.C., and was there and decided when the Civil War came out, he decided he had formerly been a supporter of the Confederacy, of states' rights, and then he was in favor of slave ownership, which Southern Illinois, oddly enough, unexpectedly enough, was a slave state. A lot of, and especially in Southern Illinois, because so many of the people who lived here were influx of immigrants, more or less from South Carolina, North Carolina. My family, I think the Lannoms were from North Carolina or South Carolina, but they came up from there to Kentucky, Tennessee, and over from Indiana and Missouri, and it was a big melting pot of much of it of Southern sympathizers. We have a Southern accent here, and I don't have much of it myself, but you get around people and they sound a little more, hillbilly than they do anything else. They don't sound like they're from Chicago at all, or New York or none of them sounds. But Logan left his seat at the House of Representatives and organized a volunteer regiment of Yankee soldiers. And one of my great-great-grandfather, my great-grandfather, his name was Aaron Stout, and it was my maternal grandfather's father. He enlisted in the town of Pinckneyville, Illinois, and then proceeded to follow John A. Logan, who was boosted up the ranks to general by Grant. Grant kept promoting him, and he went all up and down. My great-grandfather went all up and down the Mississippi Valley following John A. Logan, and he managed to reach the end of the war and still have all of his parts. Didn't lose a leg or an arm or anything like that. And he was mustered out at the town of DuQuoin, Illinois, which is about 25, 30 miles away from where I live. But that Logan's father-in-law was a character that Danielson said that he would like me to play. I said, okay. I said, well, did the guy have a mustache? He said, I don't know. I said, well, I tell you what, I'll start growing one because it takes a long time for me to grow a decent handlebar mustache. And to get one that was, if you look at almost all of the pictures of soldiers and representatives and you name it in that time period, they all had these big, full, sweeping mustaches. Even as late as the 1880s with Wyatt Earp, you look at a photograph of him when he was maybe 30 years old or 35 or 40, and he had this damn thing that crawled across his face and almost up back to his ears, and it was all mustache. So that's what I've been going with.
So is this a stage project, a screen project, or a reenactment type?
It's a screen project, and Danielson wanted to shoot it here in Southern Illinois because it's kind of an untapped area. The only thing that I can remember them shooting something in Southern Illinois was Sidney Poitier and Rod Steiger did In the Heat of the Night.
Yeah.
And Sparta, Illinois, doubled for Sparta, Mississippi.
Okay.
And they shot that in Sparta, Illinois. They shot parts of, I think, a small portion of The Fugitive down here, and they shot U.S. Marshal down here. In fact, I think they sank a plane in an abandoned rock quarry, which now is the place that where they operate a scuba diving school in Southern Illinois. But the Tommy Lee Jones and Wesley Snipes work down here in Southern Illinois. But that's the problem was the money people were in Carolina or Georgia, I think. And so they wanted, because, when they shoot something in a state, very often they can get tax breaks and get the use of certain areas for less money than they could if they were doing it in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I mean, they can call it runaway production if they want to, but that's the simple logistics is, money talks
and the rest walks.
The rest walk, yeah.
Because I'm on AM/FM radio, so I have to follow FCC standard.
I got it. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. I can take that's an easy fix in post. So, all right. Well, okay. Keep me posted on your book. Keep me posted. This has been a delight. Thank you for spending part of your day with me, and an early happy birthday to you.
Oh, well, thank you, Ed. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, in less than what's today, the 3rd? Yeah, in about 1 month and a day. I'll be crying out loud. Who would have thunk it? 79.
Well, you don't look it, and you don't look it, and you certainly don't sound it. So,
thank you.
Well, so whatever you do to take care of yourself, your stomach, so that your lungs and all of that, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
I keep pumping blood up into my brain, when I'm blowing those pipes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
be going to my brain, get red in the face.
There you go. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You can follow Les Lannom on Facebook, The Harry O Companion by Steve Aldos and Gary Gillis, which includes a wonderful foreword by Les Lannom, as well as all sorts of behind-the-scenes anecdotes, information, stories about the making of Harry O, The Harry O Companion, available McFarlandPub.com as well as Amazon.com. We'll be back with more TV Confidential right after this. One more item. If you're starting a company, particularly one that is in an emerging market, you know that averting any sort of legal dispute is crucial to your business plan. Our friends at Tectonic Law offer an array of services that can help you avoid and preempt future litigation while also developing and protecting your intellectual property and intangible assets. Tectonic Law serves the needs of a host of emerging industries throughout California and beyond, including industrial designers, beverage makers, artists, farmers, retail stores, health practitioners, wellness experts, cosmetics manufacturers, nonprofit organizations, innovators in sustainable practices, and libraries. Go to tectoniclaw.com to learn more about how Tectonic Law can help your business thrive. tectoniclaw.com. Rock solid representation for groundbreaking industries.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay Area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
Ed Robertson, thanking you for listening to the TV Confidential podcast. If you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss our next episode.
Hi, guys and girls. This is Kathleen Bradley, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
Ed Roberts with a reminder that Darkness in Prime Time, How Classic Era TV Foresaw Modern Society's Descent into Hell, the latest book by Mitchell Hadley, is available in paperback and as an ebook through Throckmorton Press. Throckmorton Press. You can also find Darkness in Prime Time Amazon.com, where books are sold online. You can follow Mitchell Hadley on Facebook and on Twitter, as well as his website, itsabouttv.com. Also a reminder that Heaven, the acclaimed documentary from 1987 that also marked the directorial debut of Diane Keaton, Heaven is now showing in select theaters across the United States, as well as via virtual cinema. To find out if it's playing at a theater near you, to find out how you can enjoy Heaven via virtual cinema between now and December 31st, go to lightyearentertainment.com. Also a reminder that The Harry O Companion by Steve Ottos and Gary Gillis, available at Amazon.com as well as McFarlandPub.com. You can follow Les Lannom on Facebook. Ed Robertson, Beth, Tony Figueroa, Donna Allen, Phil Grice, and Susan Silver. Thank you so much for listening. Stay healthy, stay safe. We'll talk to you next time on TV Confidential.